professional. At U of H, of course, what we say that we like to get lots of work experience while you're a student here. We have a professional concert hall that has over 500 performances every year, and you're standing in the lobby of it. So it's a really exciting to be able to show people, to show visitors, and to bring them here to see this facility itself. If you look up, yeah. So that is called Euphonia. It is meant to be synesthetic. Who knows what synesthesia is? So like if you can see music, this is supposed to represent what you can see if you can see music. So it's over 500 square feet. We'll see more of it inside the Opera House here in a second. It is put up, it's acrylic, it's glued to the ceiling. One of our jazz professors actually likes to say that whenever it was being installed, it kept falling off the wall, so he'd steal the pieces at the bottom. So he has his own Stella, he just hasn't put it together yet. It's probably worth more than the building itself, because just of how it's worth. And so we definitely cover our 1% with that. We also have handprints up in the art itself, so if you look really carefully, the president of the university at the time has his handprints up there. Some children, there's some really tiny handprints up there. So some children's choirs out there. So that's kind of being part of the art. So this is kind of the premier facility, but as College of the Arts, we try to do an integrated arts, where if you're a music student, you're learning about art, you're learning about theater, and vice versa. So we bring a lot of people here to show off our opera house, which is technically what this is called, but we do more than just do operas in here. We do have our 4 productions each year for operas that are double cast, full costume, full makeup, but we also have a ballet, and then we also have the Wortham Theater, which is a school of theater, but we do have some theater productions here. But what I like to say is that this is our classroom for you guys. So for all of our students, this is where they get to learn. This is their lab. It's not even listed in MAP policy as being an assembly area. It's listed as being a classroom because it needs to be available for our students to learn and to grow as musicians, as performers, and everything as well in there. So it is designed to be an 18th century style opera house. So that means inside it's horseshoe shaped. And we have the double staircase with the modernized chandelier. Also, the sconces are hand hammered by a person far more patient than I. So they are so really no expense was spared when the donation was made to kind of make this an opera house for this facility too. We even only let our queen, President Couture, use it once a year when she comes to do the presidential address every October. So even she has to go on a request list to get to use this facility too. So if you want to go inside, I can talk a little bit more about our programs. No food or beverage. So something really neat about these seats, they measure the weight of a person. So that means when you were performing, if you went into, say, this big stone church and there's no people in the church and you're just performing, when the people come in and they have a seat, it's going to sound different to you. So these seats are weighted so that when our students are on stage performing in rehearsal, it will sound exactly the same as if there were people in the seats. Wow. So you're not going to be thrown off by anything whenever you have an audience. It's all acoustically perfect in here. It's another reason operas, they don't use microphones. So if you're a singer, you have to be able to project, enunciate, and be able to the very back person in the hall be able to hear you. So the acoustics in here are so perfect that it's easy. Like I'm talking like it's nothing right now. You can hopefully hear me just fine. So same thing with the pit orchestra. We have room for a full-size pit orchestra. So this is on the hydraulics. They just lift the lid, and it's a 9-foot drop down here, so don't fall. But you can fit a full size, and because of the acoustics, the instrumentalists do not have to mark their dynamics or play softer so singers can be heard. They can play as written on the music, and it'll be perfectly fine for the singers on the stage. So with all our performances too, especially our operas, they are fully constructed here on site too. So we have our own scene shop, we build our own sceneries, the students participate in building the scenery, so that when they go off to get a job, they understand what technical theater has to do to make the production have for them. And it just makes you a better person when you appreciate what's going on behind the scenes whenever you're on the stage. So like I said, we do have over 500 performances here. We have one tonight. We have a piano duo going on for that. And then just a little bit about our programs as well, not just music, but every single arts program, so music, theater, dance, and art. We all require a separate application process. So that's brand new for art this year, so they do have to submit a portfolio. All of that is run through a separate application that's different from the general UH application, but it all has to be completed to get admitted to the arts program too. Other information as well, I guess, is important. Music does offer extra scholarships, so you can get a UH academic scholarship, stack that with a music scholarship when you're coming up with your financial aid kind of package in that respect. We do accept transfer students, and we do accept current UH students who want to transfer into the major. They just have to submit the portfolio and get approved, or audition and get approved, or audition with theater and get approved. Transfer students, it's a little more difficult for them to transfer in and graduate in a timely manner. For example, with theater, if you transfer into theater as an acting major or an education major, the way that the degree is shaped, you will be here 4 years, regardless of how much time you spent elsewhere. So you could spend 2 years at community college and still be here for 4 years. With music, it's sort of similar. We expect transfer students to be here for 3 years, regardless of how much credit they have coming in. And then art students, it's similar as well. So typically, if you have a student who has really good test scores and they're talking about that and just say, you know, my parents think it would be cheaper to go to community college, it's really not going to be cheaper if they really want this major, because they're going to be spending that time here regardless. And we're just looking for something that it shows that they're creative and have it can be anything that shows their creativity, photography, a video. As long as it's a new requirement this year, so we're still kind of working with the faculty on what their expectations are, and we're kind of looking at the numbers as well, ones at the end of this year, to see if they changed our numbers with the portfolio and things like that. So it's just 2 examples of your creativity that can be drawing, sculpture, painting, a video, anything like that, plus a personal statement, just explaining why you want to be an art major. So it's not an extensive process, but it makes the art program very legitimate in terms of other programs across the country. We do have shows and exhibitions put on in Blackbird by our students twice a year. Our master's students have an exhibit every spring in there. We host events in there, and it's a really neat thing to do on Cougar Preview Day or on Explore UH days whenever they have a little break, just because it's open and it's free to the public all the time. So we really encourage people to go through there, and it's an example of a fully functioning art gallery where students can work as student workers in there, and they can get experience and maybe decide that maybe they want to run their own art gallery. We do have master's programs, so once they get their undergraduate degree, they could do a master's in art leadership. We have a museum certificate program that's brand new this fall. So those are all options for students who, you know, may love performing, may love the arts, but may want a career in something that involves that's a little different. For example, I was a vocal performance major, and then I got to my master's level, and it turns out that I am a singing piece of cardboard. So I am terrible at acting. But now I get to do this with all of y'all and get other people into the arts and see their careers flourish too. So there's lots of different career paths for people who are interested in arts majors, and having Blackbird available and having all these box office positions and things like that available is important too.